This is the verse 11 of chapter 2. Jesus performed the first miracle in Cana in Galilee, and there he revealed his glory, revealed his character, and his disciples believed him. And after this, Jesus and his mother. Now, this is very interesting because it indicates that he included the women in all his serious deliberations. Jesus and his mother, his brothers, James and John and Peter and Andrew would be a member of that, and Jude, and disciples went to Capernaum and stayed there for a few days. Now, I'm sure they didn't sit there twiddling their thumbs. And I would love for some writer with imagination to visualize what happened during those 3 days. I believe it was a conference, something like we're having here. It was a planning what to do. And of course, the fanatics in the group, like Peter and Andrew, said, let's get those guys. Let's bring down the angels from heaven and let's start the revolution right now. And Jesus said, no. That's not the way we're going to do it. It was almost time for the Passover festival. This is how the next verse begins. Passover festival. So Jesus went to Jerusalem, the city of peace. That's what the word literally means. And there in the temple he found people selling cattle and sheep and pigeons, and also the money changers. Now notice they're not called money exchangers. And I could spend a half an hour on that subject. What is the meaning of money changers? All coins, all currency in those days were hard minerals. Zinc, gold, silver, copper. And on the coins were images of the idols, the emperor who was a god. And they were abhorrent to pious Jews. And in order to get them into circulation as interest-free money, are you listening? They had to take it to the temple and have it melted down, get rid of the image, and replace it with the temple stamp. And that money had to circulate interest-free. And by the way, in the melting process, they discovered, I'll finish with one sentence. In the melting process, they discovered that a lot of the gold was not pure gold. And so the duty of the temple bank was to make sure that the currency that was issued was pure currency. That was the money they spent as interest-free money. So let's be very, very careful when we think about gentle Jesus, meek and mild. It led to his arrest, and we as Christians believe to his execution. And I think we all believe, that is those of us who do believe, that somehow or other he rose above his physical limitations and along with all the other prophets is spreading this message to the world today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. King. Sheikh Yaqoobi.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the context of capital markets, which is the subject of the topics of today, I would like to remind certain issues. First of all, the importance of trade and business-related transactions and bridge building between societies and cultures. The people of Mecca, even before the advent of Islam, were very trade conscious. They had two major trade routes, one which they used to use in winter towards Yemen, and the other one which they used to use in the summer during the north and the Levant and what we call in Arabic Sham area. And this was mentioned in the Quran, لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding the Quraysh that God has secured for you two routes, one in the summer and one in the winter, and He has granted you peace and prosperity. آمنهم من خوف. He has granted you peace from fear, and أطعمهم من جوع. He has fed you from hunger where you are poor and hungry, and through these trade routes He has granted you this abundance of wealth which you have these days. So this was even before the advent of Islam. And after the spread of Islam, of course, and in an astonishing and very expedient way, which till today amazes the historians of the world, that Islam spread from China to North Africa and beyond, and even to Europe. Trade was very important, and lots of projects and businesses were moving around freely. And one of the advantages of this vast empire was that people could move freely and trade freely. That is before the advent of passports and these things which we have today. So it was considered a big facilitator of trade.